Welcome to 1407 Great Mountain Lane. This is the living memory of the X-Men. Don't let anyone tell you different. All right, so we're getting our first giant size X-Men in about 2 years. It's been a minute. The last few have not been great. Magneto was trash. Storm, eh. Gina, Emma. I'm still salty about that. And Nightcrawler. Yeesh. But now we're in Thunderbird. Thunderbird, this has been on a lot of people's reading list for ever since it was announced. Ever since Thunderbird got brought back and at the end of Trial Magneto, probably like one of the few good things that came out of that series. But we got Stephen Orlando, who is a great guy. He knows his history. That's something I really appreciate. Got AEW superstar Nyla Rose, and we got David Cutler doing the inks. Now, okay. I was watching Professor Bill's over at Comic Book University, shout out, and he got a couple of things. He had, but he didn't have all the information. There are three, maybe four, essential reading materials before going into this. You got to read X-Men 95 from back in the 70s when Thunderbird died. You read X-Force -1 that came out back in May 25 years ago, but which were all mentioned. But he didn't mention X-Force 73 and 4. It doesn't have anything to do with Thunderbird's story, but it's more so what happened to the reservation that John and James grew up. You got to know what happened. I was confused at first. That's why I went back, read it, and so go back, read those. Then you can just kind of go into this like, okay, you feel better about it. So getting into it, we get John Proudstar. He's on Krakoa. He had like color. He knows what he's doing. Like I love this. It's clean. It's like it's really showing you Arizona. And from his info and from his dialogue, I just kind of get the point like John's an asshole. He's a total jerk. He has a low opinion of Xavier. He's like, he hates everybody. And going back into X-Men Red #1, where he says, "Oh, you a Summers," and he just decks dude in the face. I'm like, bro, he tried to get you to get off the plane. Everybody tried to get you. Cyclops, Xavier, Banshee, all tried to get him off the plane, but he didn't want to listen, because he thought he knew everything. But that's personal opinion. But this is my opinion. So we get him. He's in Arizona. He's walking. He's basically doing a walking tour of Arizona so he can get back to his reservation. I thought it was Count Rez, but that was destroyed. So he's going to this other one called Camp Gonzo. And like he found out that there was like a relative of his that was still alive. It's dope. Also, the mute. every time we see something regarding humans and mutants, we just found out that the U.S. government, yeah, they could they could do so much better. They're kidnapping people, experimenting on them, and we're not even talking about those kids and those Latino kids that are kept in cages. America has a whole history of separating brown people from their parents. It's really weird. Every 100 years, look it up. So we get the return of basically the one villain. His name is Edward Martin, which is cool. We saw him back in X-Force 73, but I thought he was dead because Siren messed him up, but he's not. And he's back. He's kidnapping native mutants, and we get the debut of Thunderbird's new costume. I wasn't a fan. I thought it was just like, okay, that's cool. Just I'm not Native American at all, so I didn't understand it until we got the info page where it kind of understood it a little bit more. I and John, he's not thinking about anything. He's stubborn. He's headstrong. He thinks he knows everybody. He thinks he's basically angry 17-year-old kid, and he's causing international incidents. And then he meets up with his grandma. Okay, I'm all for it. I'm all for exploration of the character. That like I like getting inside a character's head. I like this perspective, getting somebody who's been gone so long, and how does where do they fit in this new age of mutants and Krakoa? And he said something very interesting to me. He said Xavier took all the mutants, created a reservation, and they called it freedom. I'm like, that's a real oversimplification, but no, I don't get it. I think he's completely wrong because he doesn't know what's been happening. Yeah. I really like this character, Grandma Lozen. Like apparently she is Thunderbird and Warpath's grandma, but their grandfather, she got a divorce really early on before James even knew who she was. So that's why we never seen her acknowledged with James. Also, we don't really know how old James, and what's the age difference between John and Jimmy. You know, it's a little bit. Like this book is really good. I really liked it, but it made me it left a salty taste in my mouth because you can do this for John Proudstar showing a Native American perspective, but you couldn't do this with Sync because so much there. There's a lot of questions I have, like where is he gonna go after this? And and when they showed Warpath at the end, I was like, okay, I like Warpath better than Thunderbird. I think Warpath is more powerful. He is more powerful. He's gone through more, and just he let go of that anger a long time ago. So I'm giving this book a 3.7 out of 5 stars. Natalie Rose, Steve Cutler, David. Steve Orlando, David Cutler. Why did I confuse their names? They did their thing. And you could see where Nyla's fingerprints are on the book. I like that. I want to see more of this. I want to see more collaborations like this. So okay, so 3.75 out of 5 stars. I love it. It could have been better, but hey, this is X-Men right now. We gotta take what we can get. I'm starting to see why Professor Bill stopped reading X-Men, but I don't. I persevere. It's 1407 Grey Mountain Lane, signing out.